friends. Welcome.
This morning we are about to head out to the VA, but we thought we would show you all of the contraptions,
Yes.
controls, controls on Chris's wheelchair, so you know what they are all for. So we will start with these two here.
They are my turning controllers, and it also switches my modes.
So in switching the modes, it looks like this. So he can go to drive position, which is a pre-programmed so that he can just get into the one position that he likes really quickly. His position for when he's just sitting and watching TV or listening to the radio or whatever. That will move his foot plate up and down for his feet. His leg rest going back and forth so he can stretch his legs out. Tilt back and forth, which you've probably seen us do a million times. Move his backrest so he can lay back. Seat rest so he can go up and down and he can make himself get as tall as I am or taller. I really have absolutely no idea what IRM means.
That is my pressure release.
Pressure release. And back to drive position. So that's what he can do. And then when he touches his sides, and it makes him turn left or right. And then his cheek.
I have a cheek button that will switch me into that my modes where I can tilt and all that. And then that's a drive screen so I could drive. Now I'm in my user manual so I can switch it to all my drives, profiles, speeds,
all the
and lights,
settings for the chairs. Yep.
So.
Yep. All right. So that's the top controls, and then his side cheek control, and then this right here is his water. So it attaches back here to a camelback right here, and we fill it with water each day, sometimes multiple times a day, so he has plenty of water to drink. And then this control right here, this little red button turns the chair on and off, and he can use his mouth to do that. And the white part he can use to control the settings like you saw, and also can drive with it.
Yep.
And stop.
And go backwards and
everything.
Yep.
So that's all his head controls and his different screens. So that screen is used mostly when he's using his controls. And then this joystick over here is mostly what I use when I'm doing things on his chair. So I also have the buttons for tilt and all of those things, and the screen for seeing what everything is on. So that is all the controls on his chair.
Pretty interesting.
Hello friends, it is actually the next day. We got very busy doing things yesterday. We actually did some things I'll tell you about in a little bit, but I wanted to take a moment and just show you some of the things going on in the garden now. Besides these lovely sunflowers that I need to deadhead some of these and let it grow some more. Actually, I think I need to cut it back some because they're in a bed with some beans, and I need to let the beans be able to breathe a little bit. So these sunflowers got huge so fast. This basil plant and the other one here actually bolted, and that's okay. I actually intended for them to, for pollinators, since I have a whole green stalk full of basil, so that's okay. Those beans are doing really well, and the Romas behind them actually put on some fruit. These bell pepper plants are starting to look nicer since it's not over 95 degrees anymore, but I do have a lot of weeds going on in here. If anybody has tips on nuts edge grass in garden beds, please let me know, because it's awful. And then we have some zinnia plants over here that are starting to love the weather. These beans are doing good. Are the jade beans. I think I called them Java beans before, which was completely wrong. They are jade beans. Those are rattlesnake beans. But these beans over here, they do have some beans growing. And these are the turtle beans. Let's see if I can get in there and show you. See? Here we go. Those are turtle beans, black beans, so they are dry beans. And then this tomato plant has some fruit growing. These are the early tomatoes, early girls. And this one does too. So we had a rough start for these fall tomatoes, but they're growing. I have a bunch of kidney beans. Oh, it looks like we do have some beans growing here also, which is great. Yay! These are also dried beans. And my cabbages did not love the heat we just went through, and I really tried to keep them wet and save them, but you know, time gets away from you sometimes, and hopefully they'll recover. But if not, I've got other things I can plant in here. I mean, not the prettiest garden, but it's mine, and I'm having fun learning to grow things. Like I said, this is my second year in gardening, and I'm learning. So if it's an ugly garden while I'm learning, that's okay. I've been getting a lot of peppers. I have jalapenos, serranos, and habaneros in this green stalk here, along with some just random flowers that I planted. Here we go. So here's one of the jalapenos. It looks really pretty. So here's one of the serranos. There we go. And I think I may have picked all the habanero. Oh, no, here we go. One of the habaneros that's growing in here too. So this has been fun too. More jalapenos up here. So I've just been having fun with it, which is great. And fun with the chickens. The baby chicks are now 2 weeks old, so I'll probably show you them here shortly as well. And I think I have decided to do raised garden beds out in the back here. So I think what I want to do is I'll lay out landscape fabric or something better. I'm not sure. Something landscape fabric, and then put raised garden beds and fill all those up so that I can garden a little bit sooner and be able to have like a really fun spring garden back here. I'll also have to have a fence because cats like to come through and we want to be able to keep them out. So I'll have to have a fence, garden beds, have to fill all those garden beds, get a water source out here. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited to do something like that. They have something to say. They always have something to say. Let's give them some treats. I forgot to bring a basket for the eggs, so this is how we're carrying it. That's how we're gonna have to do it. I've had a few people reach out and ask where I put all the stuff from the pantry, and I've set up a bunch of racks in here in a spare bedroom. So all the stuff is basically on racks in here. So this was an office, and now it is a hot mess. So I set up all these racks. I had several for my grow lights for spring seed starts, and so I'm just using those since I'm not growing anything by seed indoors right now. I just set it all up in this spare bedroom, and now this bedroom's a hot mess, but it's where all my stuff is. So you can see all the stuff that I had is now in here. I also have some fans on in here. One of the things about my pantry is it got really hot, and so I had a fan in there to keep it cooler so that things didn't spoil. And so now I have the ceiling fan in the room, and then I also have some other fans in here as well so that things stay cool and don't spoil. So that's where I have everything. We'll make this just a little caregiver talk for right now. We, over the past, I think, week or so, we've had a lot of doctor's appointments and we've gone out to eat a few times. One of the things I really love when we go out to eat is when it's a non-event. So what I mean by that is like getting in out of the doors, servers helping us like normal people, things like that always make my day. And I know that might probably sound a little odd, like what is so exciting about just a normal experience at a restaurant or being out in the wild, but I think when it's normal, it just feels so much better. We had an experience at the VA, which I'll not get into a lot of details about. We were in a situation where Chris needed to get out of his chair, and nurses were walking by. I don't know if they were nurses or techs or people that saw us struggling, just walking on by and not offering to help or even calling for help or anything like that. And I was really upset. I was struggling, and because we didn't have the necessary equipment to be able to move him. But finally, one of the staff members at the VA that knows us really, really well came by and offered help. And we were trying to work out the situation, and she went and got more help. So it was like a power team came in and helped us get the situation under control. And then I burst into tears. I was so frustrated. I don't understand just walking by people and not offering to help in some way, even if it's just to go call somebody else that might know better what to do. However, like Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. And that's exactly what happened. So the staff member that knows us well came, she tried to help, and she wasn't able to help, but she went and got us more people to get the situation under control. And that is exactly what we needed. And then she hugged me and I burst into tears. I felt so frustrated and so helpless because in most situations I'm able to help him and don't need others' help in doing it. And this time I just felt like I was failing, I guess is the best way to put it. I was doing everything I knew how to do and it just wasn't working. And I felt like I was failing him. And I think that's where everything just kind of spiraled out of control at that point. But, you know, I knew we'd get through it. Just in the moment, it just felt so horrible and awful and like I was a failure. And then his doctor came in. She happened to be walking by right about the time that we had all the help that we needed. And she stopped everything and came in the room to make sure everything was okay and checking on him and checked on me. So I can't say enough good things about the helpers. I'm going to cry now. So, like Mr. Rogers said, don't focus on the bad things that are going on, the people that were walking by, and the struggle, but look for the helpers and the people that are doing good. And I can't thank them enough for what they did in the moment, giving me hugs and telling me it's going to be okay, checking on Chris and making sure he was okay, which he was. And they took the time to let me know the good things that I did do and the right things that I did do. So that was the other day. Yesterday, we went to the VA, and then after those appointments, we stopped by a place that sells wheelchair accessible vans. For a long time, we've been wanting to get a van that has a tow hitch, and ours does not. And that way we can go on more road trips and things like that a lot easier, because what happens now is I take the lift and, you know, all of our luggage and stuff like that in the van, and that all sits behind him in his wheelchair. So if I just, like, if we wanted to stop and get something to eat real quick, I have to take pretty much everything out of the van, have him get out of the van, and then put all the stuff back in the van, and then do the whole process back over to get back in the van. So what we're doing is hopefully we're going to get a van that has a tow hitch, and that way we can have a small little trailer to hold all of our luggage and all the accessories that we need and stuff. And that way, you know, he can get in and out of the van without any issues, and somebody can sit in the back seat without having to prop their feet up on all of the supplies. So I'm not going to have it before our next trip. However, hopefully by the next one we want to do, which will probably be in the springtime, we'll have it by then. So that'll be amazing. Anyways, I think that'll do it for this time. I really appreciate you guys joining us. So hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification button, and you'll get notified the next time we upload. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you being here, and take care. Bye.